Welcome back, fellow travelers. I want to talk to you today about whether or not it is worth it to buy access to a lounge at an airport. Now, these are mainly going to focus on airline lounges and not, let's say, credit card lounges or things like that, because more often than not, they don't allow additional access, whereas airlines, they do offer their passengers to, whether it's for $15 to $50 to buy access for that day at the lounge. Is it worth it or isn't it? Let's go ahead and detail why it's worth it and then why it isn't worth it. So it's worth it because you get to have a place where you can get away from all the hustle and bustle in the terminal. There's people that lie on seats, taking up a bunch of room. There are kids that are screaming. People are mad hungry for seats. So if you get up because you want to go to the bathroom and you come back, your seat is most likely gone. There's the general noise that's taking place inside the terminal. So airlines announcing their departures, they're looking for people shuffling back and forth as they're going to their gates. Going to a lounge avoids that aspect of it, so you get a place to sit down. I don't see a lot of scenarios where you need to be power hungry about your seat and guard it ferociously. Generally, airlines don't fill up to capacity for their lounges, and if they do, they turn it away. They start turning people away. So those lounges where they get close to capacity, those are probably in like the big airports like JFK, LaGuardia, LAX, London, Frankfurt. I know I was at the Lufthansa lounge in Frankfurt and it was pretty packed, but it's roomy. So these lounges oftentimes are roomy. For international flights, or if you're just going, let's say, domestically, but let's say to Hawaii, that might be an area where you want to explore it. I will always go to and gain lounge access if I'm going on a flight that lasts several hours. The main reason there is I want to get clean, so take a shower, brush my teeth, maybe just soak my face in some water, feel refreshed before getting on the flight. I also want to grab a bite to eat because sometimes the service can take a while to get kicked off, and if I'm kind of getting hungry at the time of boarding, I don't want to be like fidgeting and hearing my stomach grumble while the flight is getting ready to take off. If there's a delay, we're stuck on the tarmac for a few hours. I don't want to go crazy wanting something to eat. I'll just take care of that now, and then when the airline is ready or the cabin crew is ready to service our meals, I'll just eat again. I'll eat again and it'll be fine. It doesn't cost me an additional money. So let's say I didn't go to the lounge and I wanted to grab a bite to eat. It'll probably cost me anywhere $15, $20 if I want to have a drink with it. Whereas the lounge access, you're looking at between $25 to $50 for most airlines. So that covers that aspect there. But then you look at the other benefits. So the benefits of not having to deal with the noise levels. Most lounges do not do announcements in their lounge because they want people to relax. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you do go to a lounge. That is loud. That's on, hold on, can I get the bridge? That's on the bridge over there. That's a motorcycle. Jesus, that's loud. Anyways, so getting that lounge access allows you to get into an environment that's more relaxed, it's cozier. You do have to pay attention, as I was saying before the motorcycle interrupted me, you do have to pay attention to flight departures, making sure that your flights are leaving on time or that they aren't ready to take off looking for you, because that does happen from time to time. They will oftentimes call up in the lounge to see if that passenger is there. But if you're somebody who doesn't have status or isn't flying business class, they don't necessarily check or think of checking out the lounge, so they might just deplane you if you don't have any bags. So that is something to be very, very conscious of. But then you also get the whole, the extra food. You get to relax. You get the shower. You just get to put yourself in a right state of mind. So all those things that I just mentioned, you put yourself in that state of mind, you're ready for a flight that's going to take a few hours out of your life. It's better than waiting at the terminal, at the gate, sitting down, squished between two people, having some guy next to you that's sleeping, or just being so attentive because you don't want anybody to take your bag, so you can't nod off, you can't fall asleep, whereas some lounges do offer areas for you to sleep. So these do vary depending on the airline, and again, they're mostly in the top tier airlines and for those major international destinations. I don't advise you going into a lounge if it's going to be American domestic, so from one airport to another within the United States on an American carrier. Generally, those lounges are pretty piss poor. I remember the United Lounge in Chicago was bad. It's just a bad lounge. They give you cereal as your food, and you sit kind of like in a square in almost a closet-sized room. So that's something to keep in mind. Domestic flights, generally I'll avoid it. I will do it on international flights for the reasons that I mentioned before, but I would say that for domestic flights, especially if it's a flight that's like under 4 hours, you don't really necessarily need it for the amount of money that you'd spend to gain access to that lounge. So that's one thing to keep in mind about those lounges. I do find that they are worth it for those big flights with those carriers that are considered prestigious airlines. Definitely go for it. Spend the additional money. I think you will find that the investment is worth it. But if it's going to be going within the United States or even within Canada, I might not necessarily do it. The lounges do vary depending on the airlines and depending on the actual airports themselves. So with that in mind, you have to do your research and make sure that you get the right airline with the right lounge access. To say that you're going to whatever lounge because you heard that it was good on the internet is not going to be the best way. You'll probably be upset. You'll come back at me saying, hey, like this is a crap experience. Why'd you tell me to go? Do your research about the airline and the airport. So just oftentimes Googling the airport with the airline that you're flying off with and lounge access will give you some detailed reviews on people's experience at those lounges. I will be doing lounge reviews as I go through them. There are a few exceptional lounges that I have visited that I would love to share with you, and a few that I would say to avoid. The United Domestic one would be one of them. Anyways, I hope this information helped you. If you'd like to check out some of the videos, you can do that right over there, and if you'd like to subscribe, you can do that right there. It really helps the channel out, but not only that, lets you know when we upload new content. I'd like to thank you for making me a part of your day, and until next time, safe travels.